Yo, so I was just in the shower and I just thought of this big brain concept to learn and remember things a lot better. Like this, I might, I might have been the first person to think about. I probably haven't been, but like, it's just genius. Also, ignore my hair. I've literally just got out of the shower, and I literally just had this thought in the shower. So basically, I like to think of it as like a web of knowledge. So like I've kind of drew a diagram here, like just to explain. Let's see, let me like this video is more of an unedited, unscripted. Literally just thought of it. So and ignore these. These are just ways to explain it. So imagine we have like this core concept in the middle, right? And it's literally just a circle. And now imagine if, like, because sometimes you'll have a core concept and then you'll think, oh yeah, it's kind of like this other thing, right? And then you get this concept. And then, oh wait, but it's also like this other thing. And it's also like this other thing. And then you start like building up a lot of these connections, right? So let's say, let me just get it back to the way it was. Hold on. And then you start strengthening all the connections. That's just like the random thing I thought of, and I'll try and explain it in different ways. So, well, first, the reason this is powerful is because then you start strengthening all these connections to each other. So, let's say you have this core concept. Let's say it's this concept we're talking about right now, like the web of knowledge, right? That's what we're going to call it. We could use like maybe this is like the sky base analogy. So, if you've played Fortnite, which I'm assuming you have, imagine like when you're building a sky base, right? Like if you just have one stair, then the sky base can easily be shot down, and then like everything's just you've just wasted the game. You know what I mean? Like you just lost, you died. But now imagine we built two stairs, one from like one corner of the map and one from a different corner of the map. It's already a lot harder to take down that sky base, right? And that's almost like this where you're strengthening connections, because once you start making more connections to the sky base, the entire sky base becomes stronger. And imagine if you got it from all four corners of the map, you basically got like you've basically won the game, because like no one's breaking down that massive sky base, right? If imagine like from all four corners of the map, then that's just hard. That's just hard to do. So that's one way to explain it. So now we've like got the core concept where it's like the web of knowledge, and we've already created another concept for it, and that might have genuinely stuck out to you. And now almost any like sometimes when you see a sky base in Fortnite, you might accidentally think of like this core concept, which is the web of knowledge. Another way to explain this is like a skill tree, and it's like this is kind of weird, but imagine a skill tree in a video game. If you get one more skill, it makes the previous skill stronger. That's kind of the way I thought about it, where it's like if you got like this skill. Hold on, that arrow was straight horrendous. Hold on. Like this is honestly genius, like for me, maybe someone else has already thought of this, but like to me this was just genuinely genius. Let's say you got this skill here and you purchase this skill. In terms of like the web of knowledge, right? Once we get this skill, imagine it actually makes this skill, this original skill, stronger. And then you just have more ways to think about it, and that's great because we need to talk. Like my mind's just going all over the place in this video. Hold on, how long have we been? So basically, there's something called the Feynman technique, which is a way to like remember and learn things better. And one of the steps is to like almost teach it to a child, or try and teach it as if you was going to explain it to a child or someone who had no knowledge about it. And the beauty of like connecting different concepts together, for example the sky base, is that now instead of me trying to explain it just normally, there's going to be some person who's played Fortnite and now completely understands that example. And then it's almost like when you teach it to someone else, you learn it better yourself. And so if you can connect a bunch of different concepts together that might have never linked before, you can truly start to master it and understand it fully. So, like, for example, a skill tree is almost like you get another skill and it makes the entire skill tree stronger, if that makes sense. And one other example which I thought of, which some nerd might debate me, I don't care, is like the Avatar The Last Airbender. So let's say you've never played video games before, but you watched Avatar The Last Airbender. You'll kind of know that, like, obviously the Avatar gets reincarnated, and I liked, like, in terms of explaining it in the web of knowledge, this might not exactly be accurate to the show, but it's like almost every previous avatar makes the next avatar stronger. So it's almost like every other concept, like, so every concept that you can think of makes all of these ones stronger. That's the way I thought about it, and I know my mind's going all over the place, but I feel like if you can relate to one of these examples, you'll actually, like, it'll make sense. I'm just trying to figure out other ways to explain it. I'll give you an example, right? So hold on, let me just think. It's like, oh, right, so this is an example. So in the self-improvement space, we're all about, like, quitting addictions, and, like, most of us are in the gym, right? But there's one way to explain how to quit addictions by using a gym analogy. And you might have heard of it before. We've called it progressive deloading. So the core concept is progressive overload, which is over time in the gym, you're going to increase the weight or the amount of reps you do to carry on gaining muscle. But then to quit addictions, we've actually used that same concept in a different way where it's progressive deloading, which is over time we actually reduce, like, how much we indulge in instant gratification. And that is how a lot of people have actually learned to quit their addictions, right? We've not actually used anything from the actual quit addiction. We used a gym analogy to learn how to quit addictions, and that is so powerful because it's just a different way of explaining something and a different way of going about a situation. And it's almost like I've just thought of then, like, innovation came to mind. It's almost like inventing new ways to do things and stuff. Like, one of the things with explaining this concept is that you're gonna get like you're gonna get more and more ideas, so it's gonna be like almost like this. Hold on, I'm just drawing it. So even explaining this, it's almost like there's a bunch of other things that are just coming to mind, and then they're just sparking. It's just, I hope this makes sense. I really do hope this makes sense, because if you can understand this and link different concepts to each other, you'll you'll literally master anything, bro. Honestly, it's actually, if you can become this guy who can explain concepts that you would have never thought linked to each other. Like, for example, you would have never, like, when you saw a Fortnite Skybase, you didn't really think of, like, this web of knowledge type thing, right? Before you clicked on this video, you thought a Fortnite Skybase was just about a Fortnite Skybase, right? Understandable. But now, because I've explained this concept to you, you might actually start to sometimes see a Skybase and remember the web of knowledge. You might remember, like, Avatar The Last Airbender. You might actually think of this. You, like, might look at a skill tree and then remember, like, this diagram and be like, oh yeah, different concepts can connect to each other and make everything stronger. Like, connecting chains together and then making the entire just chain stronger. It's like, I just thought then, like, Spider-Man, like, using a bunch of webs will make the entire, like, web stronger. Like, hopefully I'm making sense. But Yeah, there's nothing more to say, to be honest. I think that's it. That's all I have. So hopefully I've made sense, and let me know if this has made sense to you, and if not, just comment below. Safe.